Hello, salutations, my friends. This is Megan here with Core 3 Harmony and Wellness Services. I am so glad if you're joining me right now that you are taking out a little bit of time to hear what I have to say. I am excited about the information to share today. I had a little bit of a glitch last week and I was doing my thing and thought I was going live. And I think there was a little bit of a disconnect with the internet. And so at some point in there, um, I wasn't being seen or heard. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for chiming in. So we're going to wrap up our mental health spring cleaning today. Um, we first started talking about our thoughts, and then we swung on over to feelings, and then today would be wrapping it up with behaviors. And you know what? Since things did not happen last week the way I had hoped and wanted them to, I figured, let me put a nice little kind of cherry on top of all of the topics to kind of bring it to a close to help. Hopefully, my idea here is to help bring a better understanding to you in regards to why we do some of the things that we do and how some of the things that we do can lead us to therapy or can lead us to seeking out that support to figure out what the heck is going on. Why are things repeating themselves in our lives and not improving or getting better the way that we want them to? So I am going to share my screen. Make sure you can hear me. Nice. I'm somewhat getting the swing of this here. Okay, I believe that I've enhanced it enough for you to be able to view it. It's more important that you see what I'm talking about than necessarily you see me. I'm a little bit camera shy, but I can do what I got to do and kind of get the job done. So um, hopefully, it's the information you're seeing is visible, and I can kind of be minimized in the background. Okay, so uh, I was sharing last week and I kind of got into a groove and I was like, man, this sucks that this wasn't actually seen or heard by anyone. Um, Many times I believe we can get ourselves confused as to what is specifically a thought and what is specifically a feeling. And I want to try to break this down for you today so that you can gain an understanding of the two. Um, I some of the phrases you're gonna see here, for examples, are things that I hear and I've heard and things that I've said. Um, and so I hope that you can hear me and see me. I'm sensing some instability with my internet connection, so please bear with me if things are not coherent or very visible. I'm going to check really quick, if you don't mind me kind of interrupting the thought process. I'm going to check really quick just to see how things are going via YouTube. Sorry about this. Thank you for bearing with me while I do this. And I'm not on my regular device. Uh, okay, so I hope that you're still able to hear and see me. So back to the topic at hand. I hope to help to break this down for you today to share some information where you can start to understand if what you're doing and what you're saying, if they truly do align and correlate with being a thought or a feeling. Um, and here's something that I read the other day that really reminded me how true it is many times when someone may ask how are you doing, uh, a response that you may have or that you hear is that I'm tired. um, and I'm tired is not a feeling. And being reminded of that, I was like, you know what, that's actually true. That's not a feeling, that's a condition that you're in, but it's not specifically a feeling state. So perhaps I'll go into that a little bit another time, though, because there's quite a bit I think to unpack there. Okay, so going back to thoughts and feelings, I'm going to go over these phrases, and I'm going to see. Now, this can be something where you can just mentally take notes in your head, or if you're a nerd like me, sometimes when I find something good on YouTube, I grab like a quick pad of paper and a pen or something to jot it down, because I kind of like to want to go back and chew on it again, and kind of let it simmer in my brain a little bit, the information I heard. But we're going to go over these. So I'm going to go ahead, and you can still see me, of course, but I'm going to go ahead here so that I can take control of the screen and scroll down. So it says sometimes it can be hard to tell what we're thinking and what we're feeling. We often fool ourselves into believing that we feel something and therefore that is difficult to change, when in actual fact, it is a thought. Okay, so we're going to go through each of these phrases, and I'm going to help you understand and see which ones you believe are thoughts and which ones you believe are feelings. Okay, so the very first one is I feel that something awful will happen. I feel that something awful will happen. Do you believe that this statement is a thought or a feeling? Okay, the next statement is I feel scared. I feel scared. Do you believe that that's a thought or a feeling? We're going to go over what these are at the end. I just kind of want you to kind of let the thought process just roll around in your head right now for you to basically guess which one you do you think is a thought and a feeling. 3 is I feel like nothing ever goes right. I feel like nothing ever goes right. 4, I feel so guilty. This is the area where sometimes we can be so consumed with shame that we can feel guilty about the circumstance or the situation or our actions. I feel as though I'm falling apart. I feel as though I'm falling apart. Do you believe that is a thought or a feeling? Here's one that's very common. I feel very angry. Is that a thought or a feeling? I feel as if my life will never get better. I feel as if my life will never get better. Do you believe that is a thought or a feeling? I feel lonely. I feel lonely. I feel panicky. I feel panicky. I feel so useless. I feel so useless. Do you believe that that phrase is a thought or a feeling? I feel like I'm a burden. Is this a thought or a feeling? I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed. Do you believe that relates to being a thought or a feeling? I feel like I'm being torn apart. Is this statement a thought or a feeling? I feel heavy. Is this a thought or a feeling? And I feel down. I feel down. And I believe last but not least is I feel that I'm a disgusting person. I feel that I'm a disgusting person. Do you believe that phrase is a thought or a feeling? Okay, so I'm going to bring it back to me for just a second here. Let me stop sharing. Okay, there we go. So, as as I was saying these statements or these phrases, first of all, just take a second and just relate to the ones that you said. Which one of those statements really resonate with you because it's something that maybe you say often or that you have said yourself. For me, as a therapist, I think especially with more experience and the older I get, I can really start to feel and resonate um, when clients say that they feel heavy. Um, it's almost a sense that heaviness is almost palpable. Uh, you can almost touch it. Um, Even if that person is not directly in the room with me, I can sense it. I can gather it, um, almost in a sense from their energy. Uh, and I want to say throughout throughout this whole experiment that we've all been dealing with, um, I never I never would have entertained interacting with clients the way that I do so much uh, via teletherapy, via our devices. And I want to say that I am still learning how to kind of grapple with all of this as far as that there's just something so unique and so different really being present with people. Um, and so when I hear and when I'm being shared with, what someone is thinking or what their thoughts were and how it correlated to how they are feeling or how it made them feel, I think it's important to help a person understand and clarify what part of what they're sharing and what they went through was an actual thought and what part was is an actual feeling. um, and then understanding what the two entities are, then I know how to go in and and in a sense tackle it in a different way, tackle it better. That triage that you see where it's your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors, they're very much so connected. And particularly in the basic form of therapy, the counselor, the therapist, I use counselor and therapist interchangeably. Um, we're going in and unpacking what all is happening in each one of those areas. If this thing is a thought that I'm dealing with, let's control and let's tackle that thought. If this thing is a feeling, let's control and tackle the feeling. Where did the feeling stem from? Did the feeling come from the thought? Did the feeling come from the behavior? So we're tag teaming and figuring out where is the source of all of these things that's kind of exacerbated things for you that made you get to a point of feeling like, some of the statements will say things are and help you with understanding which ones of those statements that we looked at are thoughts and which ones are feelings. So let me share my screen again. Okay. I'm gonna make it a tad bit bigger. Whoa, that's pretty big. Let's see how it looks on the screen. Uh, wow, that is pretty big. Okay, so let me go ahead. I think the more enhanced the screen is for you to see, the better, so that you're not straining to see what's going on. Okay, so let's start with the first one. I feel that something awful will happen. I wish I could make it a tad bit smaller so you can see. So there's the check boxes. So, do you believe that that statement is a thought or a feeling? I feel that something awful will happen. This particular statement is indeed a thought. Now, I would say all of these statements may throw you off because they have the word feel in every single one of them. Um, they have the word feel in every single one. I'm getting a signal again. Gosh, I'm going to call up my Xfinity people that the internet's unstable. So I again apologize, but I hope you can still hear and see me. I'm going to minimize this just a little bit. Um, I wish it would let me see if it'll let me do a certain amount here. Let's do 180. Okay, let's see how that is. That's good. That's good. I like that. Okay, so let's go down. Let's continue on with our list here. I feel scared. I feel scared. This is a feeling. This statement is a feeling. Okay. 3, I feel like nothing ever goes right. That is a thought. If you have the feeling that nothing ever goes right, that is a thought. 4, I feel so guilty. That is a feeling. 5, I feel as though I'm falling apart. That is a thought. That statement is a thought. 6, I feel very angry. This is a feeling. This statement is a feeling. And 7, I feel as if my life will never get better. This statement is a thought. 8, I feel lonely. This is a feeling. 9, I feel panicky. This is a feeling. 10, I feel so useless. Now, this is a thought. This statement is a thought. 11, I feel like I'm a burden. This statement is also a thought. This statement is a thought. I feel ashamed. This statement is a feeling. This is a feeling. I feel like I'm being torn apart. I feel like I'm being torn apart. This is a thought. And I feel heavy. This is a feeling. I feel down. This is a feeling. And I feel that I'm a disgusting person. This statement is a thought. Okay, so do you notice any patterns here between the statements that are made? Can you pinpoint and pick out specifically which ones are thoughts and which ones are feelings by the way the statement is structured? So, give you an example. One that I'm sure we have said, each of us at some point in time, is I feel scared. Okay, so that's like hands down a feeling statement. To say, I feel like nothing ever goes right. I feel like nothing ever goes right. That is a thought. Let me relate it to the next thought. I feel as though things are falling apart. That is a thought. Now again, I don't want you to get confused, because I know each of these statements, it can feel like a trick because they all have the word feel in it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it correlates to a specific feeling that you have or you're having. Okay? Now I'm going to switch gears here, because our feeling statements correlate to an emotion. So I'm going to get ready to, I've got notes here to keep myself on track. I'm going to get ready to go over here and talk about um, emotions. So hold on, bear with me if you don't mind. Let me go over and adjust my screen. Okay, and I'll show you. So we have our primary, what we would call, our primary emotions. Now stay with me here. I did say we were going to be going a little bit longer. I try to keep it nice, quick, and to the point. We'll be going a little bit over today, just because this is some stuff I would have covered last week. Okay, so I'm going to share this. Let me enhance it for you. That might be good. All right. The ability to share screens is just absolutely amazing. I feel like there would be so much I wouldn't be able to do with clients and here uh, without sharing my screen. Okay. Okay, so we have primary emotions. And so to help you kind of grasp and understand, the thoughts and the feeling statements that we say and that we have and that come up for us, is to be able to categorize them into what state that emotion category that they come from. Okay, so I am going to go over. You can still see both me and hopefully the screen share. Okay, so let's look at the primary emotions. So we have here love. For every primary emotion, you can see here that there's a secondary emotion and a tertiary emotion. There are some words in English that I'm like, can I say this right? But let's look at this here. I love the way this breaks it down, because it really starts to break it down in a terminology that we use on a daily. So love, man, we can hear that word so much, from I love pizza to I love him or I love her. And sometimes we can throw the term around love so loosely, and it can become a little bit confusing. So I like how we move into secondary and tertiary emotions, where we look at, from love, we go to it being affection, lust, or longing. And then we break it down even further to adoration, affection, love, fondness, liking, attraction, caring, tenderness, compassion. Sentimentality, lust, we go into arousal, desire, lust, passion, infatuation, and longing. I feel like desire can also be plugged in there too. So let's quickly go down here. We look at joy, cheerfulness, zest, contentment, pride, optimism, enthrallment. I love that because we just don't use that word very much, so it's kind of fun to say. Relief, huh? Who ever thought of joy, relating it to relief? Hmm, I like that. I don't think I relate joy to the description of relief enough, but that's a pretty cool correlation. Relief. Okay. So here you see where joy, with joy, we can also feel these other um, feeling states. Like there's amusement, there's cheerfulness, there's joy, there's delight, there's enjoyment, gladness, happiness, satisfaction, ecstasy, elation, contentment, pleasure, pride, triumph, eagerness, hope, optimism, surprise is another one, amazement, astonishment. And so let's look at anger, because anger is one that comes up quite a bit. Anger um, can stem from many different things, and I did a live stream a while back on anger, uh, and really kind of touching on the fact that anger is one of those emotions that can really get a bad rap. It's the only emotion that we have specific um, groups and approaches for, like anger management. Uh, you don't hear of a group called joy management, which we probably do need so that we can learn how to have more joy. Um, love management, I don't know if you could maybe say that could be related to couples therapy. But anyway, one that sticks out like a sore thumb is anger, and so much so that we have anger management groups and classes and therapy approaches. So let's look at anger here. So, anger, we can break it down to irritation, exasperation, rage, disgust, envy, torment, and suffering. Frustration. I hear that a lot. We feel that. Boy, have we all been frustrated with how things have been um, with the past year, how things are now. Boy, are we frustrated. Um, Annoyance, irritation, grouchiness, grumpiness, hostility, hate, bitterness, scorn, vengefulness, dislike, whew, anguish, hurt, and suffering. There's a lot there under anger. There's a lot that I see and hear that stem from anger. Sadness. This is one that comes up quite a bit as well. Depression, despair, hopelessness, gloom, unhappiness, grief, sorrow, woe, misery, disappointment, displeasure, guilt, shame, regret, remorse, isolation, alienation, loneliness, neglect, rejection, homelessness, defeat, insecurity, embarrassment, humiliation. Even just looking at these words and looking at all of the descriptions, um, you can feel it. You can feel it. So let me tie this in, okay, to how our emotions can motivate our actions. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I want to tie this in. I hope you're still staying with me. I hope I'm still staying connected. I apologize again for anything that's not coming across clearly. I am going to share, pull up another screen here that I want to share with you, is how our emotions motivate our actions. So, um, I feel like let me check my source. Yeah, let me see. I feel like it was one of my handouts. One moment, please, as you bear with me. I just want to say while I'm looking at this, thank you so much again for giving me a little bit of your time today. Also, if you could please subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. And then you will be in the know when I'm going live to share. Um, I'm fairly new to live streaming, so I do apologize for some hiccups. I'm always loving watching people who are so um, suave and savvy with it. Um, and I know that in the beginning, everybody has their hiccups um, with it for sure. So I appreciate your patience. Please subscribe, and it's my goal to try to go live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Um, to share a little bit. Let's see here. I'm not finding what I need. It was. Okay, I want to share the screen. Let me see if I can find it here really quick. Bear with me. Um, there we go. I always amaze myself with some loopholes that I find. Um, I'm not on my normal device, so where I normally have things, it's not they're not in their place. Okay, so let me let me share. Okay, I appreciate you. Let's go here. Okay, let me show this, and then we'll do our best to draw this to a close. Okay, here we are. Okay, now hopefully you can see this okay. Let me, oh, you're not seeing it yet. Let me share it first. Here we go. Okay, so how our emotions motivate our actions? This is a really good illustration to display and show that correlation as we look at the trio of our thoughts and our feelings and our behaviors. And, it's a cyclical thing that we're constantly in. Sometimes we don't realize it, but we are constantly kind of spiraling into, our thoughts, our behaviors, our actions. Um, in therapy, what I'm trying to help an individual do is pause, stop, recognize what they're doing and where they're at in their stuff. Um, because I think so many times we're just on an automatic. We don't really stop and investigate what is happening with us. We're just constantly in that responding mode, responding to all this stuff happening out here and what he, she, they said, did, all that stuff. Um, so, okay, let me. I wish there was something I could do about the internet. Don't see. I see I'm connected well. It says unstable internet. So again, I apologize. Okay, I'm gonna enhance this a little bit more for you all. Oh yeah, check that out. All right, some this is little things that just kind of fascinate me. Okay, so here we go. Our emotions motivate our actions. So our emotions, different emotions can lead us towards different kinds of actions. Sometimes the actions that our emotions guide us towards can help us to survive. For example, you see some rotten food, you feel disgusted, you don't eat the food, therefore you don't get sick, and you survive the whole situation. Um, Our emotions are not always a perfect guide to action. We can choose to listen to what our emotions are telling us, but we don't always have to react in the ways that they want us to. So here's that aspect where, many times I know we grapple with what do we have control over in a situation. Um, Something has occurred or something's going on. Sometimes I feel like we get our senses off when we're trying to figure out what part of whatever is happening is actually in our control. I think that's why you hear so much in therapy. It's funny. I had a conversation with a client, and I was asking him if the breathing, the focusing on the breath worked, and they're like, no. And so when we hear that concept in therapy a lot, is the easiest and fastest way to connect to your body is through your breath. If that's not working for you, what are you doing? Like I'm all about like being a huge investigator with the person I'm working with and finding out, well, what is happening? If is something that you don't think is working, what is going on? What is working? What isn't working? Um, so I think it's always good to. I tell clients that I'm working with that I'm helping them to clean the lenses so that they can get a better vision, a better view of what's happening, what's going on with either themselves or the circumstance situation. So let's look at these. Joy and happiness can motivate us to join in and take part and share. Fear can motivate you to want to get away. Sadness can motivate you to want to withdraw, to ruminate. Oh, the rumination. Okay. Oh, I'm picturing other live streams to talk about and seek comfort. Anger can motivate us to attack, lash out, and stand up for ourselves. Guilt can motivate us to repair what we have done. Shame can motivate us to hide away, to keep things secret, and to punish ourselves. Disgust can motivate us to withdraw, keep a distance, and get clean. Compassion, empathy, or sympathy can motivate us to offer comfort and to be with others. Embarrassment or humiliation, this can motivate us to want to hide. Confusion, this can motivate us to check things out or paralyze us with indecision. Boy, how I think that's where a lot of people go. We're undecisive. Powerlessness, ooh, that is a word to say, can motivate us to give up. When you feel powerless, it motivates us to give up. Indifference, ooh, this can motivate us to ignore. This can motivate us to ignore. Okay, so those are some great examples. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Those are some great examples. Oops, and I forgot one more. Sorry. Let me show one more. How could I forget affection? Boy, do we need that now more than ever. Let me just show you this one real quick, and this is the last example. Um, okay, so whoops, my screen got goofy on me. Okay, there you go. You see affection down there. It can motivate us to give love or to get close to others. Affection can motivate us to give love or, whoops, you still can't see it. Hold on. Oops, there we go. I kept clicking. I'm like, it's not working. There we go. Down here, affection can motivate us down here at the bottom to give love and to get close to. Affection can motivate us to give love or to get close to. All right, we're going to stop sharing our screen there. Okay, so So here are a few things to wrap it all up, all the information. We are a sum of our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors. Um, some of us are better at balancing all of these, and some of us are not. Okay, it is a journey. It is not something you just grab and you got it and you're good. It takes maintenance. That's pretty much the best way I could describe it. When you are dealing with all of these complexities of understanding yourself, responding to others around you, interacting with other people, it takes maintenance, which is why I think it's important within my model and style of therapy in particular. I like to get people to a point to where um, they're coming back to check in with me to maintain and to stay stable and to brush up on their skill sets to do the maintenance that they need to do. Prime example is, when you take your vehicle in to get a tune up. Um, one, it's something that you should do and you would want to do because you've invested so much money in it. Um, and two, it's gonna help you feel safer. Um, to know that your car is in the best condition possible and it's got everything that it needs from tire rotations, tune up, oil changes, all that stuff involved with cars. I'm not a car person, but just using it as an example. Um, we need to do the same thing with our mental health, mind, body, and spiritual well being. They all take some TLC. When they're not taken care of properly, oh my gosh. I'll give you an example. And I'm sure whoever is watching this, you can say, "Yep, I've been in that situation or I've experienced that." You are driving behind someone who has not maintained their vehicle. It is smoking up a storm, stinking up the air because the oil has not been changed since it's been purchased. The tires may look like they're falling off the rims. It does not look like it has been washed since the day it left the lot. And you're wondering, I think this person just thinks that this vehicle needs gas and that's it. Like they're not doing anything else to take care of the vehicle. There are a lot of people, this is an example. There are a lot of people that are like what I just described. I think they're just barely feeding themselves. And that's just food to get up and go. But there is no self reflection done, there's no self awareness on their part, there's no tackling their shadow self, their shadow side. There is no foundation established to develop a growth mindset. They are just how they are. And I really feel like for an individual to get to a place where they are moving from surviving to thriving, there's some work you have to do on yourself. So, going back to the trio of your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors, how are you maintaining those and keeping those in check and balancing themselves? When I first started doing the live streams, I kept hearing Ice Cube's song in my head. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. You better check yourself. You have to take the time to check yourself in every area, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. A depletion in any one of those areas is bound to impact the rest. I'm going to say that again. A depletion in any one of those areas is bound to impact the rest. And so then what comes up to the surface are those symptoms which get exacerbated because these things are not in check regularly. And then we have our anxiety, our panic disorders, we our depression. Now, I'm not saying there are individuals battling and dealing with some major mental illnesses. They need to also do the same thing, be in regular maintenance of themselves. And sometimes it can be an even greater challenge because they may have more impairments that are just putting more pressure on them just doing what they can do to take care of themselves. And I'll say this, and I'll leave you on this. I have seen some individuals that have taken better care of their vehicles than they have themselves. $1,000 rims on their car, major stereo surround sound packed in, windows tinted like they work for the FBI. They can't see anything. Um, the latest, flashiest things on their cars. And yet their own well being, well, they put it in the back seat. So, what are you doing to balance those three? What are you doing to get them in check, put them in check? Your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors. For those of you that are currently in therapy, bless you. It is not an easy thing to get to the point to reach out for support, but once you do, and hopefully you've got a connection with a really good therapist and you mesh well with their style, with their personality, you'll be able to start to get some things in check. You'll be able to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You'll be able to find those balances. You'll be able to know what, oh, this is my stuff. This is not theirs. So let me check. Let me pull myself in. Let me check it. It's important. So I appreciate you. Thank you for listening into what I had to say today. I want to leave you with this note that for those of you who are sensing and knowing that you probably need to seek out therapy, uh, email me. My email address is over here in the corner here. If you're interested, I offer services in person if you're currently in my area or online. You can email me here. I love providing consultations because for me, at the end of the day, it's important you find the right approach, the right personality, the right fit therapist for you to help you deal with your stuff. I want to help you do that. If it's not me, what are you looking for? What do you need? Who can I reach out to and help be a resource to find you the person, the individual, the group that you need to get connected with? Because we see that we are living in such unprecedented times and every life is precious. Some have more and greater challenges and issues than others. And if you need help, it's there. There are affordable ways to get things taken care of. Again, if you're one of those people, you can drop money down on a vehicle and you just don't want to take time to deal with your anger, to deal with your relationship issues, to deal with how you act or how you feel people are treating you and you don't understand and you're stuck in a cycle, you can clearly see what the priorities are for you in your life. There should be no greater priority than you taking care of yourself. So, I appreciate you. Please subscribe. Email me, reach out to me. I trust and believe and hope that something that you have heard here today was inspiring, uplifting, helpful, and relevant. And I am sending out nothing but good vibes your way. A little bit of energy from my hands to yours, reaching out. Sending out nothing but good vibes. Yes. Many blessings to you. Thank you so much. I'm taking a little bit of a break next Saturday. I need to get outside and get close to some water myself. I need some good earth energy to refresh me. So next Saturday, I will not be here live. But please join me May 1st. The little banner says that May 1st, we'll be back again with a whole new series. Oh, yes, May is the month of Mother's Day. We will be talking about our mamas, not like, not in a bad way. All right, we will be talking about mothers next couple weeks once we jump into May. So I appreciate you. Um, I welcome your feedback. Okay, take care of yourselves. Take time out to make yourself a priority and reach out for help to work on your stuff. It is time out of putting so many other things before you and you falling apart. That is unnecessary and not needed. Not nowadays. You can get therapy in your bedroom, in your car. Therapy is reachable any place that you are if you want it. So it's there. All right. I appreciate you. Take care of yourself. Many blessings. And I will see you live in a few weeks.